so long. I'm back. I wanted this video to talk a little bit about my personal New Year's goals in 2023. I just think it's a fresh start. I'm really excited to start the year. I've written so many notes to tell you guys in different categories because this is a holistic channel and I want to share a holistic approach to everything. So covering like my goals, mind, body, spirit, relationships, work stuff. I also want to share with you kind of a review of last year, what happened and how I feel about that, and like how am I going to accomplish those goals? Do you know what I mean? Like what specific things am I going to do to actually get them accomplished? So thank you for joining me. I'm so glad you're here. Let's get started on that. Okay, so let's just do a little review about 2022 and what happened for me in that year. It was a big year. So last year in 2022, I decided to start a YouTube channel, and it was going to be about me and in my life and my family that we're starting and how we're doing it in a holistic way, in a healthy, mindful way. But then I made another channel. Who would have thought it? And that channel was specifically about where I'm living, and it's more fast-paced. It's kind of quirky and fun, but I ended up putting a lot of my time and energy into that channel. And this year I really want to transition out of that. And I did a whole month of plant medicine work in Peru. I also got married in Peru, and then we did a honeymoon throughout South America. So big year. I think it was very successful. A lot of goals met. It was exciting. We finally got to travel. And so I'm hoping we can make 2023 just as great. So overall, this next year, I would like to be about kind of enjoying and taking the time to go on adventures in preparation for starting a family after this year, 2024. So this year, I really want to get super healthy, get mind, body, spirit all prepared for that, and really enjoy our last, year or two as like a couple and a dog. Can't leave Barkley out. Because after this, life is gonna change a lot. So I just want to really live it up, have a great time, and accomplish some of our goals. Okay, so what does that look like? Well, in terms of like physical aspects, take care of my body, we would really like to do a detox of like heavy metals and all the other, junk that accumulates over time, and to just clear those pathways and get our systems flowing and moving and cleaned out. For that, I am ordering some very specific tinctures and herbs, and I will definitely have to share that with you as I go. I'm excited about it. Done a lot of research. I would also like to get stronger. So it's not really like a body weight thing that is the issue. It's more of like a strength issue. So I would like to put some time into like actually lifting weights and building up muscle mass before, having a child in the future. Another goal that is lofty is to not wake up hungover. After 30, I just feel like things took a turn for the worse in terms of drinking. Anything over 2 glasses, it's like it just ruins the whole next day. And I would really like to not have that happen this year. Because really, what good happens after 2 drinks? Nothing. Can't think of one thing. I'd also like to do acupuncture once a week. I think it has amazing health benefits, and I really love our acupuncturist, so I think that's a good one. Okay, in terms of mind stuff, I want to read every day. I would love to make that a habit. I would like to make life supportive decisions, meaning whenever I have even tiny decisions, I'd like to just have that be a habit of running through, is this life supportive? Is this going to benefit the world in some way? Is it going to benefit me some way? I would like to be flexible more often. I am obviously very planned and organized, and that's great, but within that structure, I would really like to, just like have a little bit more flexibility in what happens, because you can't control everything. And when things don't go how you thought, that's kind of like when life happens. I would like to complain less. I don't think I'm a huge complainer, but when there's a situation and you could see it positively or negatively, sometimes I go with the negative. And that perspective shift, I think, would be really helpful in, changing your vibration, because we're all just instruments putting out a vibration, and that's what's coming back at us. So if I'm putting out negative stuff, I'm gonna get back negative stuff. I'd like to change that. Okay, this is about money. So yes, I do want to make more money and have more money in our lives, but it's more about the mindset. That's why it's in this mind category. I want to have a different relationship with money. I don't want to think of money being hard to get, or, something that if you're not working really, really hard and suffering for it, that's when you get it. I don't believe that. I think it's kind of old programming, and so I would really like to develop a more easy, flowy relationship with money. Bangs keep splitting. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna include this in this video, but I wrote down, do you ever have the thing where you go and you hang out with people and then like afterwards, the whole rest of the night you are like spinning and thinking like, should I have said that? I wonder if they got upset about me saying that thing. Like I think it's like social anxiety, but I would really like to have that not happen. And I think what I've thought about is if you get a clear idea of who you are and then just be that truth all the time, then you don't have to worry about that stuff because you're offering people the trueness of your nature. But if you're like people pleasing, which I kind of tend to have done in the past, or acted a certain way around certain people because that's probably what they want to hear, that's when you start questioning all of that stuff. Okay, for the spirit part, or like the emotional part, I grouped that in there as well. I wrote down that I would really like to be honest with others about how I am actually doing. And I think I have this habit of like, if somebody else is in a bad spot, I might want to relate to them, and so I kind of highlight the bad things that are going on with me, and it's just a bad habit and it doesn't help anyone. You know, people who are in spots where they could use some encouragement, they don't need to hear how your life is going poorly also. I should want to be something that they look at and they're like, oh wow, it's going really well for her. It can be, you know, go really well for me too. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you doing well. It's on other people to manage their own emotions about how they feel about what's going on in your truth. I also want to put my inner self first, meaning my heart and my energetic self and my emotional self. So if something like logically makes sense, I want that to be less important than if it feels like something makes sense. Does that make sense? Basically, don't just do something because like, well, this is what makes sense to do. We should do it like this. We've always done it like this. Well, maybe that doesn't feel right anymore. Maybe you should change it up to something that actually feels better and makes you feel free and happy and flowy. Okay, the next section would be relationship. So in terms of my relationship with Brandon, we just got married, woohoo. Each week we try to do a date night, and that's usually because we live so far from town and it's such a small town, so there's really not a ton of options in town to really go do. We usually just once a week sit down, we do a chapter from our like relationship book that we're working through. We've done 3 now, so I will have to link those and tell you about them. We work through that chapter and then we split a bottle of wine. Lately we've been traveling a lot and we just haven't prioritized that ritual, and I think that's really important, so I'd like to get back into that. Okay, I would also love to learn more about herbalism, because when I flew to South America to do my plant medicine work, I got really sick, and it was amazing. All of the people there, so many of them are natural healers, so they just rushed to my room and gave me all of these herbal tinctures, and whether it was Ayurvedic or from like the Chinese medical doctor perspective, they were just ready to go, knew exactly what I should take, and I was so grateful for them. So that was great, but I was so embarrassed because why didn't I have some tinctures? I mean, I probably would have ended up taking Dayquil, which is just like the very worst thing you can do. You don't want to like cover up symptoms. And what was I doing not preparing beforehand? I mean, the flight was so long. So I should have been preparing by taking lots of herbal supplements and things like that. So I would just really love to focus on learning that, make a little kit. I don't need to know every single, medical remedy there is. That's a little daunting, and I think that's why I haven't done it yet. I have several books, but it's like an encyclopedia. So I think if I just have the goal of like getting down like a certain kit, because we don't get sick that often, but when we do, that would be really a good thing to just have on hand for our family. Okay, so in terms of work, I have 2 YouTube channels right now, and they are vastly different. There's this one that I've kind of taken a back seat to, and then I have another channel that's kind of focused more on living here in New Zealand, and I'd really love to transition out of that channel and put all my energy into this channel and close that one down, because this is just more of what I want to share. I want to be helping people, and yes, that channel is entertaining and helpful for very specific niche of people, but this is like, I want you guys to come with me on my journey and learn with me and grow with me, and I want to just be truthful and honest and open, and hopefully that is helpful. That's what I like to watch on YouTube. So I would love to get that established and do that transition this year, sooner rather than later. I also have several products I want to launch here on this channel that I think would be so helpful for everyone here. I know I use them all the time, and I'm really excited about that. I also have a project I want to start probably towards the end of the year. I'm also very excited about this. My plant medicine work really kind of inspired me to do this, and so I can't wait to share it with you guys. Okay, I do have a section just about like doing things, and I guess these things are gonna happen anyway, but I want to do them intentionally. You know what I mean? We have a lot of activities this year coming up, a lot of trips. We're going to Australia and Bali, and we're taking a big United States trip, and we're going to do like a big road trip in an RV, and that's gonna be fun, and can't wait to share that with you. We're gonna spend a lot of time with family over there and just reunite after 3.5 years. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot, and I wanna have a positive attitude, and I just wanna soak up all the time and not be so overwhelmed. We're also going to do a lot of Euro tripping, and I cannot tell you how excited we are for that. Neither of us have really explored Europe at all, and I don't know, I have a really good feeling about Europe. I think it's gonna be beautiful and fun, and I just want to have a flexible, open mind, like I was saying, about it, and everything should fall into place. And again, this is just like the adventure part of our life that I really want to just immerse ourselves in before we start a family, because I know everything changes, and doing this much traveling with a baby is probably very hard. We also, when we're in the States, we have a lot of wedding celebrations, because when we went to South America, we did a spiritual ceremony, and so when we go back to the US, we'll be doing another ceremony there, get it legalized, and just celebrate and take time to do several celebrations in different locations with different family members. So I want that to go easy and have a mindset of nothing's really a problem, there's a solution to everything, and go with the flow. Okay, so what am I doing to accomplish these goals? So I have a few steps in place. One of the most important, I think, is making a vision board and making it a ritual in my morning routine to look at it and go through it and read it and vision it every morning. So I'll pop that on the screen here and I can walk you through it. So it's like the background of my phone. So on this vision board, I basically just journaled about who I want to be in the future, and then I put those things in different chunks on my board along with some visuals to represent the things that I want to happen. So at the top it says 2023, act like her. So her meaning me in the future, the soon future. Okay, so like I want to hang with me, like be a person that I actually want to hang out with. I trust the universe to take care of me, just giving up control and knowing that I'm taken care of. Just some words to describe how I am feeling as her: light, happy, creative, fun, flexible, funny. People interest me. I am a highly sensitive person, and sometimes people can be overwhelming, and I think I interpret that as not wanting to be around a lot of people. So this is just reminding me that, hey, people interest me, because they do, they really do, and I just need to take the proper precautions to really get that benefit. I flow, things are easy, I am disciplined, I am honest about myself. That's kind of like what we were talking about earlier with, being truthful and not people pleasing and matching whatever they're saying. I take care of me and my boundaries. Yeah, that's kind of to do with the highly sensitive person thing. Like, guess what? You don't have to do a million social things. You can just do one thing. Whatever your body and your emotional and your heart is saying, I want to follow that. I do have time. Yeah, I feel like we have so much going on this year, so much planning, and I just want to remind myself that if it's meant to be, I do have time for it. And if it's not meant to be, then I don't have time for it, because the universe wouldn't give you too much to handle. And then I am worthy, I am a child of God. Yeah, that's a mantra that I got through plant medicine and kind of a reprogramming. Like we were talking about earlier, you being you is lovable. You don't have to make a bunch of money, you don't have to suffer, you don't have to do anything. You are worthy, you are a child of God, and that's why you're worthy. And by God, I mean universe or consciousness or whatever you want to call it. And then the pictures, you know, pretty self-explanatory. Europe, money for the money flow, journaling and art and weddings, and that picture, it looks like Barkley, so I put him down there. So we have the vision board, and I told you that was part of my morning routine, which I'll make a whole separate video about that, and we can talk about exactly what I do. I have planners. I have, yeah, my planner here. I write everything down. It's super simple, but it's got, importantly, like the week, a blank space to put whatever you want in, and then the months are at the front. It's moleskin. You can't beat it. It's amazing. They're a little expensive, but worth it. I have my dry erase board. I can take you on a tour of that in the future as well, but it's just a big board, calendar, and then it has each day, and I can put down like the daily events for Brandon and what meals we're having. It's just a super great way to stay organized. And here's another thing about it. It's got some like blank space. So if I'm listening to a podcast while I'm cooking and they mention a book or a movie or something else, I don't know about you, but I can never remember. So I write it down there, and then at the end of the month I have a bunch of things that I get to research and learn about. We talked about like being her, this ideal version of what I would like to be, or like my true self, you could say. And so to remind myself, I put phone reminders in my phone that go off and alert me every few hours, and it just says like be her, like remember, like be her. I also have one that says breathe and have an open heart, just like a little reminder, because it's so easy to just get started with work and this is the day and get frustrated, and this is just like, hey, remember this. And then from that point, I just pretend like I am her and I'm seeing it through her eyes, and I am in the house I want to be in, or I am in the place that I want to be in the future. Even if you're doing dishes, do the dishes and be her. How would she do it? You know, would she be grumpy and upset that she has to do dishes, or is she joyful because her life is great? I think the universe rewards action, and so it's really important to not only think and feel it, but also like do it, and then the universe will bring you more of that same stuff. For my YouTube channel, I also have a calendar. It's like Kanban style, and I can put every video I'm doing, stay super organized. It's very helpful because you can just move it around, and highly recommend it. Okay guys, well, thank you so much for watching. I hope this is helpful or motivating or inspiring in some way. I really appreciate you watching. I hope that you're into this kind of content. This is the kind of stuff I want to bring into the future. Just living your best life holistically, mind, body, spirit. And I think it's gonna be a great ride. I'd love you to put your goals, some of your goals, and maybe some of your strategies in the comments below. I'd love to hear about them, and we'll see you next time. All right, bye guys. Nervous, no script, not wake up hangover, oops. And so what's the word I'm trying to say, in like a spiritual, I don't know why I quoted myself. I like that a lot. I'd watch that.